That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? Saw this story and it was concerning, to say the least. So look, we all know that we want people to behave well in movie theaters, right? We all know we want people to behave well in movie theaters. It should be a part of the social contract that we all understand that and we all respect it and we all abide by it. But a CBS report, actually was on NBC, everything else too, an AMC theater in Boston, where, let me just give you the basic gist of it. A guy was there watching a movie. A number of teenagers were really disruptive, screaming things at the screen and, stuff like that. The guy asked them politely to stop. They didn't. He asked them politely to stop again. They didn't. So then he decided to go to the management. Which is understandable. You paid for a movie. Other people in the theater paid for a movie. You want to be able to watch it. I mean, listen, cheering at a big thing in a comic book movie or clap, that's fine. But when you start screaming things at the screen, all that kind of stuff, you're disrupting people. Here's where it gets interesting. This comes from CBS News. After he asked the group to quiet down multiple times, he left to get a manager to deal with the situation. But he says that AMC staff never addressed it. You can bring my image back up there, Jonathan. Never addressed it. Now, the story then goes on that after the movie was done, the guy was leaving the theater and the teenagers were waiting for him. And it says 5 of them attacked him for 2 to 3 minutes. And nobody did anything in the theater, and then they left before the police got there. And you can see from the thumbnail that he's got a black eye and all this kind of stuff. Now, look, one of the things that I think we have to be clear on is that we cannot blame AMC theaters for a group of teenagers being assholes, right? Can't blame that. Again, let me pull a back in my day sort of thing. But back in my neighborhood when I grew up, not that Canada had the mean streets, but it was just understood.
You had hockey.
We had hockey. We deal with things a certain way in hockey. Like, all due respect to the other sports, but we deal with the issue.
Yes, you do.
Right? But that's kind of a Canadian mentality. When in our neighborhoods, in our high schools and stuff like that, it's just known. You want to fight somebody, you fight somebody. You don't have 2 guys fighting one guy. You don't have 3 guys fighting one guy. You don't have 5 guys fighting one guy. Because where I grew up, if it ever got out that you ganged up on somebody, you got paid a visit. It was just a social contract. We all understood that.
Yeah.
You got paid a visit. Because I'm sorry, and I speak directly. I don't know if maybe these kids watch this thing. You are the ultimate pussy if you go and get into a fight and you have to have other people doing it with you. Sorry. Anyway, that's a sidetrack thing.
Got your ass.
So anyway, guess that we can't blame AMC because you can go anywhere. You can be on the subway and have misbehaving people. You can go into the grocery store and we have seen that and have misbehaving people. You can go to a baseball game. We've seen this and have misbehaving people. Anywhere you go where public people can interact, you could have that, right? I don't blame AMC for that. But one of my biggest complaints about movie theaters as a whole, not just AMC. I talk about AMC more because I go to AMC. They are my favorite movie theater chain. You'd never guess that, but they really are. So I go to them most, so I talk about them most. One of my biggest complaints about the movie-going experience for years is that I remember when I first got to LA, Rob, going to the ArcLight Theater.
Ah, yes.
Oh, I miss them.
Oh, do I do.
But every movie started with a staff member walking in front of the audience, say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to ArcLight Theater. And part of the thing is saying, please respect your fellow film patrons here. Please do not talk during the movie. Don't pull out your phone. And saying, I'm going to stick around in here for the first few minutes, make sure the picture and audio is good. I'm going to be right out there. If anybody needs me, come get me, bluntly, all that kind of stuff, right?
People would applaud them every time.
And people would applaud them,
Yeah.
right? And it was a great experience. And one of the things that has really bothered me about that, movie theaters don't have that. right? They don't have that. And even now, just recently, what did Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC Theaters, when they're saying we're going to shrink the pre-show time, how are they shrinking it? They're going to take out the message that asks people to not talk and take out your phones. I'm not making this up. We talked about it the other day. He literally said, we're going to shrink the pre-show time by just a couple of minutes by taking out the spot that asks people don't talk during the movie. Are you fucking kidding me? You insane moron. Anyway, the part about this story that really gets me.
We need Batman in front of every theater.
The part of this story that really gets me is not that AMC staff didn't jump in to help the guy. Like, listen, some of these kids making $12 an hour. I don't expect these kids to put their personal health on the line to whatever. No, that's not even the part that bothers me. From an AMC perspective, the part that bothers me is, again, this highlighted paragraph. The guy did what he was supposed to do. He went to the management and nobody did anything. They didn't even respond. They didn't even send in somebody to say, hey guys, we're getting some requests. Can you please quiet down? They didn't do crap. So those kids were allowed to just continue to sit there, do all the shit that they were. And since they were there and they knew this guy went to the management now, then again, I'm not blaming AMC for the actions of the teenagers. But what I am saying is that never should have come to that. Now, before anybody tries to jump to their defense, will say, well, John, you know it, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not saying you need to have some armed security. I'm not saying that. I'm not indulging that or encouraging that at all. But even just, here's an idea, Rob. Three people in red AMC shirts. You know what I used to, one of my jobs when I was younger, I was a cruiser. I was a guy that worked at the roller rink that my job was just to cruise around on the rink just to make sure everybody's okay and nobody's acting up too much and whatever.
Did your dance crew perform at that roller rink?
We did. I won my first Adidas windbreaker outfit at a breakdancing competition at that roller rink. As a matter of fact.
Wow, dude, is there
True
video?
story.
Does your mom, you had to cache a videotape.
It is buried with top men. So anyway, three guys that in, let's say, a 9-theater complex, and each one of them goes into one theater for about 5 minutes in the hallway, not disrupting the thing, just in the hallway. Then after 5 minutes, they each go to the next one, so that every 15 minutes, each theater will have a member in there and have shirts designated. Hey, I'm a customer service guy. And I'm not saying they should go in and physically grab problem people and throw them out, but empower them to say, hey guys, can you please settle down? And if you don't, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And if you don't leave, we are going to call the police right now and we're going to charge you with trespassing and we're going to press charges against you. Just somebody. So it's not the moviegoer's responsibility to do this. Now, before anybody, I know I can already hear what some people are, click. John, that's so expensive. It's going to drive up that's going to, no, it's not. No, it's not. Take a look at this. I did some quick math and I verified this through all the official channels. The average AMC movie theater makes $6.6 million per year in revenue. Okay. At an average of $14 per ticket, which is the average film cost last year of an AMC movie ticket. That's 471,427 tickets sold per year per theater. 3 Rover staff at $20 an hour. Okay. So you don't have to pay them massive, but you can pay them way more than minimum wage. $20 an hour for 10 hours a day each. That's $600 a day. $600 a day times 365 days. That's a $219,000 a year investment. $219,000 divided by that 471,427 tickets sold is 46 cents per ticket. You split that 46 cents up amongst 15 more cents per ticket, 15 more cents per drink, and 15 more cents per popcorn. By the way, they've increased the price of these tickets by like $3 just in the last couple of years. They can handle this. They shouldn't even pass the expense on to the audience. But even if you wanted to pass the expense on, 15 cents on a soda, 15 cents on popcorn, 15 cents on a ticket. For 46 cents, bring this back up. For 46 cents, every AMC movie theater could have 3 full-time roving monitor security people that we are not asking to get to create physical altercations, whatever. Again, I don't mind spending 15 extra cents or 46 extra cents if you're going to better my experience. Just the fact that this guy, a customer, went to the management to say, you got some really disruptive people in there, and they did nothing. They didn't even walk into the theater to see it for themselves. They said, not my problem. Why would anybody want to go to an AMC theater? Like, listen, again, I don't blame AMC for the behavior of the teens.
Right.
I do blame you for your actions or lack thereof. So if you're not even going to address a consumer's complaint, a very valid complaint, a thing that is not just ruining that guy's experience, but other people who are in that cinema, your customers, and you don't even have the time to take a second and walk into that theater and see what's up. Had they done that, this guy wouldn't have gotten beaten up. Again, I'm not blaming them for what the teens did, but this is something that should not happen. This is a great example about how a movie theater chain like AMC continues to be tone deaf. They keep raising the prices and keep lowering the service. Because, Rob, in those last couple of years that those movie tickets have gone up by $3 or more per ticket, the number of staff I see in these theaters continues to go down.
Yeah.
There's fewer and fewer attendants at the concession stand. There's fewer and fewer customer service. I used to walk into the AMC Burbank and there would be a couple of security guys there. Last time I went in there, I didn't see one. Maybe there was one there. I'm just saying I didn't see them. So the prices keep going up. The service keeps going down. And now we're seeing some real practical physical ramifications of that. And I just don't know why customer service has become such a foreign fucking concept to these movie theaters, particularly AMC. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. What a great time to be a sports fan. Basketball playoffs are on. Hockey playoffs are on. It is the perfect time to jump into the action with PrizePicks, the easiest and most fun way to turn your sports knowledge into real winnings. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made really simple. Just pick more or less on a few player projections, like points, assists, goals, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For example, this week, I've got Jalen Brunson for more than 24.5 points, or Jason Tatum for more than 6.5 rebounds. I love how fast and easy it is to lock in a lineup in just under a minute. Plus, they've got a couple of weekly features, like, for example, Flex Friday. If your lineup doesn't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds. And every Tuesday, check out Taco Tuesday for discounted player projections up to 25% off. So download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. Anyway, Rob, you saw this story. What were the first things that came up to you?
Well, I would say the problem that I have, I agree with everything you're saying, but the thing that's really disturbing about this story is that after the movie was over and they left, these teens found that guy
in the theater.
And beat him up, which says to me that the people that you're dealing with first and foremost are people that I think are beyond the scope of what a movie theater can expect to deal with. They're kids that are unruly, call it bad parenting. These are people that I don't think you'd have to hire somebody with either police or military skills to deal with people like that, because they're willing to escalate a situation even after it's over. They're willing to seek out violence after the fact.
Yeah. I
think the way to deal with people like that, the only way to deal with people like that, is public shaming. And I think how many people ever, where it ever gets so bad, I would imagine that people come out, if movie theaters should say to policy, if a person comes out and complains, so there's some pretty unruly people, it's a good bet those people are really unruly. I would stop the movie. Yeah. I would turn on the lights, and I would have 3 people come to the bottom of the screen, 3 ushers, and make it a thing. Go, who are the assholes in here? Maybe not use the word assholes. Who are the unruly people who have paid money to come watch a movie but aren't watching the movie? Who is disrespecting our business? And make it a thing and put up a camera and go, please raise your hands because you're on social media. And just do that. And you don't have to talk to anybody. And if you don't want to be here, we offer you the opportunity. Please leave our theater right now. We'll give you a refund if that's the case. Otherwise, shut the F up and let people enjoy the movies. And if you're not going to, don't come back to our establishment. That way, there's no personal confrontation, but I would make it a thing. I would make public shaming of people in movie theaters something to go viral, turn it around, have Nicole Kidman go, I look forward to your unruly behavior in our AMC theaters because we're looking forward to put you on our social media because we can't spank your bare bottoms, but we can certainly shame you publicly.
You know who does that really well?
Yeah, the Alamo.
Yeah. Listen, I have certain issues with the Alamo Drafthouse, but they are the industry leaders. Like, somebody pulls out their phone for more than 3 seconds, there's an assistant manager coming in and throwing them out. Like, I love the way Alamo deals with that. I really do.
Dude, I told you the story. I was at the Hollywood Bowl at a classical concert. At intermission, a group of pretty unruly people, by the way, in their like 20s and 30s, who were clearly drunk, came in at the intermission, and they were talking during a classical performance. And I turned a couple of times and asked them, I said, hey, can you guys please be quiet? When the performance was over, a guy stepped up to me. And you know what I did? These people are all idiots. You just lean into them and you just put on the Clint Eastwood voice. You want to go step outside? No, that guy he was completely freaked out that I was leaning into him because I'm not small. And I can defend myself, but I am tired of this kind of behavior. And usually when people do it en masse and they're challenged, unless they're packed, I mean, if they got a gat in their waist, it's a different story. But I mean, I'm like, I will step up to people because they will usually back down. But this kind of behavior is unacceptable, and it's because it's gone unchecked. Parents haven't dealt with it. Teachers have to deal with it. Our schools have to deal with it every single day. And this is a societal problem that it's systemic, and it starts in the home, and it's not being taken care of. And the only way to deal with it, you step up to somebody, you're going to create static that leads to violence. But public shaming is the only way to go.
You get a couple of guys. Again, we're none of us are saying that these guys should have, that the theater staff should have physically intervened.
No, but
we're not saying that.
They're not going to leave, though.
But give them the authority to approach problem people like that and say, can you stop? And if they're not stopping, they're authorized to take the next step. We are going to have to ask you to leave. And then you authorize them to take the next step. If you don't get up and leave right now, we are going to press charges against you for trespassing. We're going to have the cops here in a few minutes. We're going to have you handcuffed, and we're going to charge you with trespassing and threatening us. Because by you not leaving, we're asking you to leave our place. You're threatening us. Again, I'm not asking them to get people physically involved, but I mean, if you're not going to look, there's two different incidents. The incident in the theater itself, and then the incident in the lobby. Okay. So let me just separate those for a second.
One led to another. Inaction led to a guy getting beat up.
Proper management of it here would have prevented what happened here. But if I'm going to separate those for a second, again, it is much easier to deal with a situation here than let it just mindlessly escalate and get it to that point there. Then at that point, I don't expect any AMC theater kid who's getting paid $12 an hour to put their health at risk and jump in and try to physically restrain 5 guys. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the very fact that this patron did what he should have done, which was ask the other patrons to be quiet, and they didn't. He then went and reported it to the management. If the patron paying to be there can do their job, why can't the staff of the theater do their job? And just go in and ask those people to quiet down. And if they won't, say, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And if they don't get up and leave, say, then we're going to call the police and press charges. It's not rocket science. It just seems like AMC for years now, while they've made great plush leather reclining seats and they have a marvelous membership program, the viewer experience seems to be something they just don't give 2 shits about anymore. And they wonder why year over year they're selling fewer movie tickets.
But also, nobody ruins the viewer experience more than other viewers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been really lucky. Listen, by the way, I have been really lucky in literally the thousands and thousands of times I've gone to the movie theaters. Maybe 8 times out of the thousands and thousands, I've had to turn and ask somebody to be quiet. And you know what? 7 of those 8 times, the person go, oh, yeah, sorry. And they stopped. One time it was a gaggle of these teenage girls and they never shut up. And that was the one thing. I've been really lucky that way.
Me too. And we usually go to movies on first days and things like that. So everybody there is a fan. They want to be there. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this little story? Again, you can't blame the movie theater for unruly teens, but I can blame the movie theater for what they then do and don't do. I don't know. What do you think should have happened here as a result of all this? By the way, if any of you know who these 5 guys are, post it on social media. Dox them. I don't care. Like,
public shaming always works.
Public shame them. Whatever you guys think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.